Yes, welcome to this weekly market outlook. So let's start with gold as usual, and then we can go to the other pairs. So looking at gold from this time frame here, which is the monthly time frame, this is the level we have actually been. This has been our all-time high. So from this all-time high here, you can clearly see we've been anticipating price to be able to come back to this all-time high for a long period of time. And it has actually done that, and then we had a selling opportunity. And then out of this all-time high, when you just look at immediately, you realize this is your next support area, just this low here. So now price has rejected from an all-time high, and then now we have a situation whereby we could have price coming down to all these support areas. So this is what we have on the weekly, on the monthly. When we go to the weekly level on gold, you will see clearly how this week has actually closed. So we had a high, an all-time high here. Then we had the breakout, which we clearly explained in our first video, where we have a market seeming to break out of that zone and then breaks back inside. So this is what we have on the weekly. Look at how this candle has been rejected from continuing further and then that break into the side. However, we have this weekly low here, which we shall have to consider also as another area of support. However, we also have this high here, which is being broken now. So we see price. This is what we shall have to see, whether there will be a situation where the price will break back up and then continue. But considering how this candle has closed, there's a possibility that price could head to this support and then maybe eventually to these support areas. So when we look at that on the daily time frame, this is what we have. So you can see how bearish the market is looking on the daily time frame with this bearish engulfing here. So there's a possibility that we could actually continue, or we may have a pullback to retest this candle here, and then we can maybe head back to. So that's what we have on gold. It's looking very bearish from the fact that we had our all-time high faked out. All right, so let's go to the DXY, explain and see how it will affect the other dollar pairs and how we use that. So looking at it again from the monthly time frame, if you look at carefully, this was an area we were looking for price. We thought price could actually head back to all these highs. And now we are seeing a different scenario whereby we saw price coming back to this, and then we had a break from this, at a break here. That means we shall have to be left with, this will be our high, which the market had this resistance area, and then we see a situation where market broke out and then broke back inside, meaning that if price is to come back down, it would actually come all the way to this low here, which will act as our support area. So this is what we have. We have a scenario where price is failing to reach to an all-time high, where we had a resistance, market breaking out and then breaking back into it. So meaning this is where resistance now is resistance area, which was broken, and then also broken again. So when we look at this from the weekly time frame, this is what we have. So we have an area here where price is actually broken, and then we have a low here. So shall we be able to see the market pulling back to retest this highs here, which is our resistance, before it can actually head back? That is a scenario we shall have to see. So this is what we have on the DXY. Now the dollar is actually stronger, and the reason why it's looking stronger is because of a retest. We're hoping for some kind of a retest into this before it can head back down, or we shall have to see the market continuing up and then break. So we have, these are the areas we have. Yeah, so this is what we have on DXY. So as temporarily, we have the dollar strengthening a little bit, but don't forget we have our highs here, which will act as our resistance area. This is where we want to see whether price will break this and then continue, or it will bounce off from here and begin to head up down. So with that being said, let's go to the euro pairs. So with that, let's look at Eurocad and maybe some other card pair. Again, looking at it from the monthly time frame, what do we have? We've been having these highs here, which were acting as our support and resistance area. So we had this was support, it became resistance, and then resistance. So we're waiting for price to be able to pull back all the way up there. And then we had these lows here for our support area. So we're hoping price could actually come to reject off this resistance area, but then we see price reaching up here, but then beginning to change course without necessarily reaching the all-time high. So we had another resistance here before we could think about that. So the market broke out of this resistance and then again back into this resistance here. So what we see now on Eurocad, we have this support area, and then we have this resistance area, and then we are seeing this strong bearish candle, the market pulling down all the way. So that means there is a possibility of the market coming to this support, or else we could actually have a retest of this before we can actually have a clear move. But looking at how the market is looking, we could actually have a situation whereby it could just continue to be bearish. So that's what we have on Eurocad. And then looking at Nzdcad, so that we can wrap up our card pairs. This is what we have also. Looking at it from the monthly perspective, this is what we have. So we had the monthly high here, this high here. All right, and then we now have, we had these for our support area, and then we have an area of structural break here. Okay, then coming to the weekly, this is what we shall have. This is our resistance area, weekly, and then this is our also, this is our resistance here when price was here, and then it was broken. So we could see a possibility of this former resistance becoming a support. The same way we had our resistance area here, and the market has actually been respecting it, which was our monthly high. So now we have a possibility of price pulling back all the way to this support area here from this scenario. Looking at how bearish this candle has actually closed, we could actually head back down to this before we can retest to go back up. Yeah, so that's what we have on card pair. Then maybe let's look at the JPY pairs. In this case, GBP, JPY, to determine how the JPYs are playing out overall. There have been some serious move on the JPY pairs last week. So looking at GJ from the monthly time frame, we still have a good number of days for the candle to be able to close. In that case, which will be our yearly candle. So we have an area here which was acting as our resistance. You see this high, and now that's where the market is beginning to turn from. But don't forget, we also have this area here, which is where the price broke out from. So this will act as our support area. And then now we have these monthly lows and these monthly lows. So we can just mark it, because this is where we shall have possibly our, because this candle has closed. So this can be our short-term support area. So once we have that, we can come to the weekly. So on the weekly, this is what we have. We have an area here of the market, structural break here. Okay, so we have this strong break because this candle has closed. So this was an area where we had a resistance, and then now price has broken. So this could actually become the next resistance, while we have this as our support, and then support here. Then looking at it from the daily, this is what we have. So we are having a situation where price is looking to be pulling back. So the question will be now, will it pull back all the way up to this, or we can have a retest of this to be able to come to this support and eventually to this low. So this is what we have on the JPYs. Yeah, and then looking at the fundamentals for the upcoming week, you need to be able to position yourself well. We are going to have also more fundamentals happening this week. On Monday, we don't have anything much, but on Tuesday, we shall be having the Aussie, the speech, and then we shall have pound on Tuesday, and then CPI, and then we have the rest of the news. So you need to be able to position yourself well and then trade well. This is a week which is full of fundamentals, especially on Thursday and then also Friday. So this is what we have. You just need to position yourself well and then trade with caution. Otherwise, see you. Thank you.